Very good evening. You're watching News Today at 9 p.m. I'm Preeti Choudhry. Our big talking points this evening. While there's been a setback for the Election Commission in the top court of the country, list of deleted Bihar voters to be out. The court has asked the Election Commission by the 20th of this month to put forth in public view, publish 65 lakh names that have been deleted and the reason why they have been deleted. Also, decoding the Rajini phenomena of 50 years of Rajinikanth. That's also on the agenda this evening. Here's devastating news that came in from Jammu and Kashmir, Kishtwar. 44 people, including 2 CISF Jawans, have died and over 167 have been injured. All of this after a massive cloudburst struck Chaukiti village in Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar this evening, triggering flash floods and large-scale destruction. More than 220 people are still missing as rescue teams race to find survivors. The disaster hit along the route of the Machhel Mata Yatra to the Himalayan shrine of Mata Chandi, leaving the pilgrimage trail in chaos. Rescue teams rushed to the scenes immediately with large-scale operations now underway to search for survivors and evacuate those trapped. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Umar Abdullah has said he's briefed Union Home Minister Amit Shah about the situation in the Kishtwar region. Prime Minister Modi has assured all assistance in the disaster-hit region, but the situation right now, viewers, very, very grim. What we are staring at is 44 already dead, over 220 missing, many scores injured. All of this where a cloudburst led to flash floods in the Kishtwar region at Chaukiti village. It's happened. One major cause of fatality rising to the effect of over 44 dead already and scores, hundreds injured, is because this is a pilgrimage site of Chandi Mata, and because of that, many pilgrims also missing. Right now, what we can confirm is 44 are dead. We don't want to sound alarmist, but it does seem that this is a mammoth tragedy which we are still trying to get to the grips of the expanse of the cloudburst which led to flash floods in the entire Kishtwar region. We're going to try and connect to my colleague Mir Farid, who's joining us live from Srinagar. Mir, what more can you add?
Rightly said, it's a massive tragedy, and still there are people who are stuck under tons and tons of debris, mud, slush, and efforts are on to reach to them. Now, in operations like this, time is of essence, and every passing minute that there's a delay, the chances of pulling out survivors gets bleak, and that's exactly what's happening here as well. Though, as far as administration, everyone who's there has pooled in resources with the army, police, administration. They're trying their best to launch an effective search operation, rescue operation. And so far, around 100 people have been pulled out, rescued. There are critically injured. 20 have been moved out of the location in an injured state. Some of them are said to be critical. They have been taken to different hospitals. Now, army teams are there, their medical teams have also arrived at various hospitals, local teams as well. But again, the issue has been bad weather and the fact that the choppers could not fly. You have NDRF teams on standby, you have Air Force teams, but the bad weather. So that really has been a big issue as far as this rescue effort is concerned. People who are under each passing minute that's going by, the chances are getting bleak. Now, it's already dark. Met Department has issued an advisory saying that rain in Kishtwar may witness more heavy rain. So that's again something that may hamper the rescue efforts, but they're trying their best to move quick and get to the people who are stuck so that they are rescued in the nick of time. But overall, definitely this death toll may increase in the coming time, as still you have around 200 who are
so you're saying there are about over 200 that are missing. How many injured right now? 44 confirmed dead.
Well, yes, that's right. Close to 100 people, in fact, more than 100 have been injured, but they have been location. They have been taken to various hospitals. Again, connectivity is an issue. This is a very far-flung area. It is a mountainous stretch, and in fact, the whole of Kishtwar district is far-flung. But if you talk of Padar, this is on the other extreme. And in fact, 3-4 years back, it was connected through a proper road. But this is a hilly track, much like you move to the Holy Cave in Kashmir, the Amarnath Yatra. Again, this is a hilly stretch. You have to walk, trek to this place, and there were thousands, in fact, close to 1,500 pilgrims, devotees who were there. We got visuals 2 hours before this tragedy struck, and one could see tents, you could see langars, and thousands of people there. It was religious, with all the religious fervor. They were there, but unfortunately, this tragedy struck, and in a matter that complete tenement area was wiped out, along with dozens of houses of the local natives. So this is a massive tragedy, but rescue efforts underway, and probably Jitendra Singh.
Right. Mir, we're having a huge connectivity problem with your line. We're going to try and connect to my colleague Mir, who's en route to Kishtwar. But viewers, this is tragedy beyond belief right now. We are yet to come to the grips of the expanse of the tragedy. Very, very little visuals that are even coming out. It's a far-flung, remote area where Kishtwar is concerned. But why the fatalities are already at 44, why we are looking at over 200 who are completely marooned, missing right now, over 100 injured, is because this is a key pilgrimage site of Mata Chandi Devi, and this is exactly the time when the pilgrimage takes place in the Machhel pilgrimage area. And that is what the tragedy is right now, because hundreds and scores are still missing. What's added to the chaos is the fact that inclement weather has been predicted. There's a red alert in the area, which at least right now, as per the Met Department, seems to suggest for the next 6 hours, heavy to very heavy rainfall. Our prayers right now, where Kishtwar and Jammu and Kashmir, we've got our eyes trained, we're trying to get our reporters on ground. All of this, viewers, in the aftermath of what we had just seen in Uttarakhand, flash floods. Today, Jammu and Kashmir witnessed a cloudburst in Kishtwar and Pahalgam, but Kishtwar taking the biggest brunt of this cloudburst in terms of a flash flood, wiping out pilgrims who've been stranded there waiting. This is exactly the time when the pilgrimage takes place, and all the tents, langars, for now, at least what we have been given to understand, wiped away. Scores are missing. The figure that we've been given till now is 220, 44 dead, over 100 injured.
A devastating cloudburst has left a long trail of destruction along the slopes of Kishtwar in Jammu and Kashmir. On Thursday afternoon, a massive cloudburst struck Chaukiti, the last motorable village, when a large number of pilgrims were undertaking the Machhel Mata Yatra. Houses, tents and makeshift langar sheds were swept away in moments as villagers and pilgrims were caught unprepared. Roads were damaged and bridges snapped in raging flash floods. Power and communication lines are cut off. Both NDRF and SDRF are pressed into action, with search and rescue ops underway in the region. Several rescue teams have mobilized across the region to reach and support the injured.
क्लाउड बर्स्ट की वजह से वहाँ पर जो कुछ नुकसान हुआ, डैमेज हुआ है, तो वहाँ पर उस डैमेज के बाद में इमीडिएटली एसडीआरएफ, लोकल पुलिस और लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वहाँ पे पहुँच गया है। एनडीआरएफ टीम की भी वहाँ पहुँचने वाली है, आर्मी भी एक्टिवेट की गई है, एयरफोर्स भी एक्टिवेट की गई है और सभी मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज़ को भी एक्टिवेट किया गया है। तो वहाँ पर अभी जो है सर्च ऑपरेशन चल रहा है।
Kishtwar police and district administration have activated control rooms and help desks across the district. Several injured have been taken to the hospital. Casualties are feared to rise. Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has expressed deep sorrow over the incident, offering condolences to the grieving families.
400 के करीब जख्मी हैं और फौरन उनको चाहिए कि हेलीकॉप्टर आ सके, किसी की कमर टूटी है, किसी का बाजू, किसी के टांग, हर किस्म की जो है इंजरीज हुई हैं।
The Prime Minister too has offered his commiserations as well and vowed that every possible assistance will be given to those in need.
Every possible assistance will be provided, whatever required, even including the medical management. And if there are certain injured who need to be shifted out, the administration will also make arrangements of airlifting through the helicopter, which is of course subject to the weather conditions.
Flash floods triggered by cloudbursts have also been reported in other areas of the valley, including Pahalgam.
The administration is closely monitoring the situation as far as the cloudburst tragedy is concerned in Kishtwar. Rescue teams have been sent to the cloudburst spot, but since the weather is inclement and it has been raining very heavily, there are landslides at many parts, and that is why it's going to take time for the rescue teams to reach. With video journalist Neeraj Kumar, this is Sunil Bhatt reporting from Jammu for India Today.
Whereas Kishtwar continues to be the biggest story that we continue to report diligently with the facts first. Our prayers right now with Kishtwar and all those who have loved ones stuck there or have lost loved ones there. With that, I want to quickly move on to the latest development that took place in the top court of the country, hearing the matter on SIR. Even as the opposition and the BJP trade barbs over the special intensive revision exercise, the Election Commission suffered today what can easily be said as a major setback. All of this after the Supreme Court asked the poll body to publish a district-wise list of 65 lakh deleted voters in the draft rolls, along with the specific reason for deletion. This has given ample ammunition to the opposition to once again attack the Election Commission and the BJP.
The Election Commission suffers a setback. The Supreme Court on Thursday directed the Election Commission to publish the list of 65 lakh voters deleted from the Bihar voter list on District Electoral Officer's website. The list will also be published on the website of the Chief Electoral Officer. The information will be searchable by the voter ID numbers. Reason of non-inclusion in draft roll has to be mentioned in the list. The booth-wise list of deleted voters will also be put on the notice board by booth-level officers. Aggrieved persons can submit their claims along with copy of Aadhaar card. The interim order was given by Justice Suryakanth and Justice Joy Malia Bagchi. The Election Commission has earlier opposed publishing the list of deleted voters, saying that there was no legal mandate to do so. The bench observed the transparency will help create voter confidence.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का इंटरिम फैसला जो आया है, आज उस इंटरिम ऑर्डर में हम कह सकते हैं कि आज लोकतंत्र की जो है जीत हुई है।
जो इस देश का नागरिक होगा उसी को इस देश में मतदान का अधिकार है। अब विपक्ष ये चाहता है कि जो इस देश का नागरिक नहीं है वह भी वोट दे। ऐसा किसी दुनिया के किसी देश में नहीं होता है।
The Election Commission has to publish the list of people deleted from voter list by Tuesday. The Supreme Court has posted the matter for further hearing on August 22nd. With Shrishti Ojha, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, so the big questions that we ask at the back of that news report is the Supreme Court ruling a blow to the Election Commission. Because till now, viewers, if you remember, the EC in court has said that the Constitution doesn't mandate them publishing the names of those deleted. The Supreme Court now has held the freedom of expression and the right to information, especially when it comes down to those who want to know why their names were deleted and what was the reason. The other question that we asked, can opposition claim vindication? This was one of the main rallying points of the opposition, that the EC make the deleted rolls public. Roll revision, a citizenship test, is an ongoing debate that continues. I want to cut across to our guests this evening, Shama Mohammed, National Spokesperson, Congress, Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. Right at the onset of this debate, I would really urge that we respect each other, we respect the sanctity of this platform in your parties and the intelligence of our listeners. Let's begin on that note. I want to cut across first to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, you know, that's the beauty of the top court. Yesterday, you were on my show. It was your day because the EC had upheld that there's nothing wrong with this exercise and it is voter friendly. The Supreme Court had upheld that this exercise was voter friendly. Today, the same Supreme Court has asked the Election Commission of India by the 20th to publish the 65 lakh names deleted along with the reason why they were deleted, upholding the right to information of Indian citizens.
You know, Preeti, let me make one thing very clear. It is always BJP's day. That is precisely the reason for the first time in 62 years, you have Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming back to power for the third time in a row. So, you know, beyond that, on a more serious note, I'm not going to be like the opposition and say, oh, we believe in the Supreme Court only when it suits our narrative. No. I repeat, a couple of things that have happened in the last couple of weeks, be it the Supreme Court or, the relevant high courts. First and foremost, the Supreme Court said that the SIR exercise is a democratic one in line with Article 326 of the Constitution. Entire Darbari ecosystem was rattled to the bone. Then the Supreme Court also said, Justice Sudhanshu Dhuria, specifically speaking, he said, if the SIR exercise will not be conducted by the Election Commission, then who will do so? The Election Commission has complete powers to do what it is doing. Right from Rahul Gandhi to Priyanka Vadra to Tejashwi Yadav, they came down heavily on Justice Sudhanshu Dhuria, saying, oh, he's a handmaiden of the BJP. The third and very important point made by the Supreme Court as recently as yesterday was that periodic revision of electoral rolls is a must. And the voter list cannot be a status quo list. And we welcome that. Now the Supreme Court is saying that the names of those 65 lakh deleted voters, that has to be made public. So be it. Because jaisa kaha jata hai na, chor ki dari mein tinka, but hame छुपाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, because I don't think we have any bee in our bonnet, to use a famous adage. But I just want to quickly say this, Preeti, that please don't forget, this is the same Supreme Court which on the 4th of August 2025, said to Rahul Gandhi, how do you know that China acquired 2,000 square kilometers of India? Do you have any credible proof? Why can't you ask your questions in the parliament? If you were a true Indian, you wouldn't be making these reckless allegations. And what does Priyanka Vadra say? She undermines the credibility of the Supreme Court, saying, who is Supreme Court to tell us who is a true Indian and who is not? So Supreme Court is believed selectively by the Congress party, but the BJP ko ye gandi aadat nahi hai. We will do what the Apex Court tells us to do because we believe in the law of the land.
But, Shama Mohammed, I'm going to come to you, but Sanju Verma, I'll circle back to you because the Supreme Court hasn't told you to do anything. Why are you conflating yourself with the Election Commission?
Why should I not
the Supreme
support
Court
the Election
has
Commission?
asked the Election Commission to put out the names.
Your problem is, Preeti, that you always conflate Election Commission with the BJP. So let me today tell you, with no offense to you, yes, the BJP is supporting the Election Commission. Why? Because Rahul Gandhi says, please 1 minute, Rahul Gandhi says, BJP or Election Commission मिले हुए हैं. इसीलिए संजू वर्मा यहाँ बैठकर
Sanju Verma, you can come out and say what you want. Why I conflate what? It was just a normal interpretation of you answering for the Election Commission. This is the charge that the opposition makes. But I'll circle back to you on that. I'll circle back to you. We've heard you. I'll come back to you. I want to bring in Shama Mohammed into this conversation. Shama Mohammed, it's a big day for the opposition in court. One of the rallying points of the Mahagathbandhan, especially in Bihar, has been make the deleted rolls public. People have a right to know. The top court of the country has instructed the Election Commission to do exactly that by the 20th of this month before it continues the hearing on the 22nd. But there is a point in all of this, Shama Mohammed, and that point has been made by Sanju Verma as well, that the Supreme Court can't be kosher one day and not the other. You can't criticize the Supreme Court one day and then you say we believe in the sanctity of the top court. Just as about yesterday, the Congress did raise questions on the Supreme Court calling the entire SIR process voter-friendly and nothing wrong with it. But today we are suddenly heralding the Supreme Court for upholding the freedom of right, sorry, the right to know, right to information.
Okay, Preeti, I have a request. You have said it should be a very polite conversation here. If somebody interrupts me, it is your duty to stop the interrupting person.
Ma'am, you were not interrupted, and you were not interrupted,
I don't know if
I will not allow you to be interrupted. So I will just give me 10 seconds. I will hope both of you will extend the same courtesy to each other. Otherwise, now I have a mute button.
I know her.
Make your point.
Okay, so let me answer this. There is, see, one can always, nobody has abused the Supreme Court. They have abused it multiple times. We have not abused the Supreme Court. Of course, when there is a judgment, one can say, we can, say something about the judgment. That doesn't mean one questions the Supreme Court. Now, let's understand one thing about today's judgment. It's a slap on the face of the Election Commission and its boss, the Bharatiya Janata Party and Narendra Modi. Now, Supreme Court was the Election Commission was very arrogant when it says it will not reveal the names. And it will not say what is the reason the 65 lakh voters have been deleted. That was very shocking because that's when we understood this is vote chori. So now when the Supreme Court has asked them to do it, I hope they will do it because I still worry about it. And one thing is also very important is they've asked them to advertise it on papers, put it on their websites. BLOs have to put it all over so that people know that they are not there in that list. The other important thing the Supreme Court has told is Aadhaar card has to be used as one of the proof, one of the documents. Till yesterday, all the BJP spokespersons were saying Aadhaar card should not be used. It is, people can have multiple Aadhaar cards. We do not want Aadhaar card. It's the same BJP in 2022 which got the Aadhaar card linked to the voter ID. Let's not forget that. So they keep changing. Then the other important point here, let me finish, you gave her a lot of time, is that Anurag Thakur did a press conference yesterday. He got the digital voter list of 6 constituencies in 6 days. We took 4 to 6 months to identify out because we didn't get the digital voter list. We got a hard copy. We didn't get a digital voter list. So a physical copy, basically, we had to go through it. We had 4 to 6 months. No, let me finish.
So you're saying unfair means?
He got it in 6 days. That itself shows the collusion between the Election Commission and the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay.
Because when the opposition
now I've given you exactly the same time as Sanju Verma. It's not in this show that we put a timer, but I have to now track the time on my own stopwatch. So I will now go back to Sanju Verma. And Sanju Verma, I hope you're given uninterrupted time by your panelist like you gave her and she had given you earlier. So Sanju Verma, I want to bring you in. It's a valid question, Sanju Verma. The fact is, like you say, that we are going to do exactly what the Supreme Court said. I would reckon here, I am at least addressing the Election Commission. The Election Commission in the top court of the country had made it clear that the Constitution doesn't mandate us to put down the names we've deleted. Why should we do it? So in that aspect, it is a setback, Sanju Verma. The court has asked the EC to directly put out the names and also give the reason why.
Preeti, on a lighter note, now I know the advantages of having that timer when we do your show at 7 p.m. But, on a more serious note, I will make a couple of points. Very quickly, look at how the lies of Rahul Gandhi and the entire opposition have unraveled. They lied about Minta Devi. They lied about Aditya Srivastav. They lied about Shakun Rani. They lied about the Varanasi Mahant, Ram Kamal Das. They lied about Dhule. They lied about Mahadevpura. They lied about BLAs. The Congress party in Bihar has more than 17,000 BLAs. From the 1st of August till the 14th of August, not a single claim, counterclaim or objection has been filed by the Congress BLAs, which shows that Rahul Gandhi sher bankar press conference karte hain, social media par wahi lootte hain. But the fact of the matter is, if Rahul Gandhi and Cabal believe that the SIR exercise is undemocratic, which is what they've been alleging, then why has not a single of those 17,549 BLAs of the Congress made a single objection against the Election Commission? Now, my final point. Here, the Congress panelists said Election Commission's boss is Prime Minister Modi and the BJP. No. Naveen Chawla was appointed by Sonia Gandhi in 2005 And Naveen Chawla was the chief election commissioner when the Congress party won 2009 elections. उसको वोट चोरी कहते हैं. Indira Gandhi won 415 seats in 1984, but Rahul Gandhi, her grandson, reduced it to 44 seats. इसे incompetence कहते हैं. And by the way, when TN Session after Rajiv Gandhi's death stalled the Lok Sabha elections for 3 weeks and took Rahul Gandhi's father, Rajiv Gandhi's अस्थियां across the nation to generate a wave of sympathy, उसे collusion कहते हैं. And when the Congress party loses Maharashtra and starts crying but wins Karnataka and starts applauding, उसे selective amnesia कहते हैं.
Okay, ma'am, on that note, you've spoken for 2 minutes. I am going to put a hard stop there, and it's by the clock. I want to bring in right now Shama Mohammed back while I reset my clock, because multitasking when you're on a debate. But I want to bring in now Shama Mohammed back into this. But Shama, the question, it's plausible. See, because we are moving away from SIR to the charges of vote chori that your party has made. And I'll go back to that press conference where technically, as per the Congress allegations, you detonated an atomic bomb on the EC and the collusion of what you felt with the Bharatiya Janata Party by giving out examples after examples, case study after case study. Many at that point of time thought that there has to be some credence in it. And some of it was identified and tracked on ground, but not all, Shama, because there have been case studies pointed out by Rahul Gandhi which have been completely debunked on ground by reporters, not just by the BJP and the EC. Some of it, yes, is correct, but a lot of it is also not correct, the allegations that you made.
Okay, can I respond now? Okay, first
Sure,
and foremost, the allegations which we made is supposed to be responded by whom? The Election Commission of India. Now, she went on saying that this is a lie, that is a lie. Is she the Election Commission of India? No. I fail to understand the strong support the Bharatiya Janata Party is giving to the Election Commission of India. Why doesn't the Election Commission of India do a press conference, say, Madhepur is a lie, the other thing is a lie? They are not doing it. They asked for a signed affidavit from Rahul Gandhi. I'm asking today, yesterday, a 1-hour press conference was done by Anurag Thakur. Why not? Why are they not asking a signed affidavit from Anurag Thakur? He said there has been fake voting in Kanauj, there has been in Wayanad. Now, just like you said, a television channel called Asianet, owned by Rajiv Chandrasekhar from the Bharatiya Janata Party, went to Wayanad, and this person, Anurag Thakur, said Choudhry Kunna is a house name and has 4,000 different people living there of different religion. And the names was Valyamma, Mariam, Lillikutti. Valyamma is a Christian, Mariam is a Muslim. And there were other Hindus also staying there. So when the Asianet reporters went there, Choudhry Kunna is not a house name. It is an area. And they clearly showed that there are different types of 4,000 people living in that area. So that itself debunked what this Anurag Thakur is saying. What is the action going to be taken by the Election Commission? I want to know, why is Anurag Thakur not asked to sign an affidavit? See, she keeps going on. I want to know why the Election Commission is quiet. They had said that, I remember when we asked for the digital rolls of the voter list, at that point the Election Commission said it will take you 36 years. I mean, can you believe it? Cameras, wherever when they vote, the CCTV images destroyed in 45 days. Have you heard of anything like that? Do you have drives these days to record it, keep it? And I put the dates, whichever I want, and I get it. He says, no, we cannot keep any of this because it will take 30 days.
Hard cut. I'm going to give both of you just 1 minute each. I'm going to give you, ma'am, both of you 1 minute each to put your party's point forward. But, I'll come back to you, Shama Mohammed. The fact is, why are you being so defensive about what Anurag Thakur said? And I'll come back to you. I'll bring in Sanju Verma first. And I'll tell you why. Ma'am, hear me out. My question, allow me to ask. Ma'am, allow me to complete what I'm saying. Allow me to complete what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't need to be defensive. You need to just look at the BJP and you need to ask them that if you do have a problem, if you have seen duplicate voters, go to the Election Commission. You're asking the same thing which the Congress, which the BJP is asking. Ma'am, I'll come back to you.
The Election Commission, it is
I will come back to you. I'll come back to you.
questions.
I'm going to give
I
in
don't know
1
why
minute
she's crying.
each. I am
I don't know
going
why
to
she's
give in
crying on the
one
show.
second. There's no point getting personal. I want to give in 1 minute each to the both of you. You can use it whichever way you want to. Sanju Verma, there is a point that Shama Mohammed is making on the press conference of Anurag Thakur. Number one, harking back to the 1980s very well, has absolutely no bearing on the charges that the Congress is making today. Number two, if you do think, Sanju Verma, it's grave and it's problematic. If the BJP is very sure by your own virtue of investigation that there are duplicity of voters in Rai Bareli and Wayanad, you must go to the Election Commission, because then your charges are exactly the same as the Congress's charges.
Preeti, now don't take it personal, and don't, feel offended. I have done a zillion debates with you. I have never heard you tell the Congress spokesperson, if you feel Rahul Gandhi's allegations have a modicum of truth, why doesn't Rahul Gandhi sign an affidavit? When Rahul Gandhi loses elections in Maharashtra, Sanju Verma is told, Sanju Verma, daal mein kuch kala hai, that is why you guys won Maharashtra and Congress lost. When the BJP wins Haryana, hame kaha jata hai, Haryana jats were against BJP, still you guys won. Election Commission is your handmaiden, Sanju Verma. But when Rahul Gandhi wins Telangana, the same media says, Wajiva, Rahul Gandhi's resurrection is complete. When Rahul Gandhi's party wins in Karnataka, Sanju Verma and the BJP are told, wow, Rahul Gandhi has put in a phenomenal performance. Matlab BJP jeetती hai. You guys don't want to legitimize our victory. When I say you guys, I mean large sections of media. But when the same Rahul Gandhi wins, his every loss is condoned and his every victory is legitimized. And I think that is so illegitimate, so unfortunate. That is why I say it is not Godi media which is the problem. It is PIDIPD media. And lawyers like an Indira Jaising, lawyers like a Dushyant Dave, lawyers like Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who
Ma'am,
have
you've
actually
spoken for 1 minute,
wrapped on his knuckles
15
by the
seconds. And I'm
Supreme
going to do
Court.
a hard cut. At 1 minute, 15 seconds, I allowed you the last 15 seconds because if you're going to deride me, I'll give you that 15 seconds more to do so. Because for somebody, allow me, ma'am. Allow me. If you're going to cast aspersions, I will allow you that extra 15 seconds. But now here, if you have the gumption of making charges, hear it back as well. For somebody as smart as you, you have very little memory, madam. You've been on my show. Allow me to, if you are making charges, allow the other person to answer. You have been on this very show where I have asked umpteen times on the Congress on why isn't Rahul Gandhi filing an affidavit. You're intelligent, maybe your memory is weak. Maybe your badams will do you well. I want to go back. Madam, I'm not getting it. The fact is, if you're going to come here and going to make aspersions and allegations, then back it up.
No.
Back
I'm
off.
not making aspersions.
I want to give 1 minute right now. Your time starts now. Okay, let me ask that same question again, which I've asked 10 times over. So tell me, Shama Mohammed, why is it that Rahul Gandhi or the Congress or anyone or a BLA is not signing that affidavit which the EC wants you to sign?
I have told you in
your 1 minute starts now, ma'am.
I told you innumerable times, if it is according to the act, if it is in one particular area, yes. But if it's all over India, who signs an affidavit? If the Election Commission is on the dock, they should come out and clear the charges. I'm asking for one press conference by the Election Commission of India. Say everything. So, doodh pani ka pani aa jayega. Another thing, she talks about the Election Commission so highly. Manmohan Singh, as well as Hamid Ansari, was accused of treason before the Gujarat election of 2017 by the sitting Prime Minister, saying they colluded with Pakistan to make him lose Gujarat elections. Did the Election Commission of India take action on this particular Prime Minister of India? Shame on him. Accusing them of treason, I will never forget this. And his hate speeches.
All right, what I'm going to do is, it's a hard cut. Thank you both of you for joining us. We are going to leave it at that. Ma'am, you spoke for 48 seconds. You've spoken for 20 seconds less, which is Shama Mohammed. You both can check on your own prompters. But with that, it's a wrap on this debate, viewers. What is really interesting in all of this is the fact that yesterday the same Supreme Court had come out and made it very clear that the entire special intensive revision that is taking place in the state of Bihar, there's nothing wrong with it. It's voter friendly and it needs to happen. It's constitutionally sound. Today, the same top court has asked the Supreme Court to publish the 65 deleted names with the reasons on why they were deleted, because upholding the right to information. Yesterday, you had the BJP celebrating. Today, you have the Congress celebrating. Let's see what the 22nd brings, because that is the next day of hearing. 20th is the time that the Supreme Court has asked the Election Commission to publish the 65 names. With that, I'm going to quickly move on. From 180 square foot rooms to 500 square foot sea view flats, Mumbai's century-old Worli Chawls have now begun a new chapter. 556 families got keys to their modern high-rise today, part of a 17,000 crore transformations that's changing the city's skyline.
A century-old chapter in Mumbai's housing story is turning a new page. In Worli, 556 families from the BTD Chawls have received keys to their brand new 500 square feet flats in the same locality. A big leap from their 180 square feet rooms.
Worli BDD residents have got flats in Worli, and they are, you can say, the 2 BHK flats constructed well. We are just in the passage area and entering this house, which is about 500 square feet. So this is the hall, and we are on the 33rd floor. So having a house in Worli, and that too sea facing, is a very big dream for every Mumbaiker, which has been completed for the residents of Worli BDD Chawls. You can say that this view of Worli and the newly constructed coastal road is seen clearly from here.
240-story wings are complete, with more under construction, part of a 17,000 crore rupee project to shift over 15,000 residents from cramped chawls to modern houses. Some of the new flats come with a coveted sea view.
In general, in that time also I was happy because we were a family that was living together. We could see the progress, like before we could even do, like the shifting happened, before we were relocated to a different temporary housing place. We could see the progress that was happening, we could see the building which was developing. So we could kind of see the progress, so it was easier for us to trust that it was going to be something of a dream come true for us.
Several families waited decades for this day.
बीडीडी चाल को जो सुविधा दिया है, जो एक टेबल पे इन्होंने सब परमिशंस लिए, सब यहाँ जो जो अड़चने थे, कोर्ट मैटर, ये सब सॉल्व करके, और इतना फास्ट काम किया है इन्होंने कि हम बोल नहीं सकते. बहुत अच्छा काम सरकार के द्वारा हो गया.
Tata Housing has provided amenities like water harvesting systems, rooftop solar panels, automatic light sensors in the corridors, and parking in the newly constructed high-rises. While some families step into their dream homes, others in the old buildings say they're still waiting amidst construction dust, mosquitoes, but hope all around.
मुख्यमंत्री साहब से रिक्वेस्ट है, क्या जल्दी तक मिलना चाहिए हमको भी. देखेंगे, अभी आजू बाजू में मिल रहे हैं, हमारे सामने मिल रहे हैं, आजू बाजू सामने मिल रहे हैं, तो हम लोग की ऐसी ख्वाहिश है कि जो जल्दी जल्दी मिले, तो जितना जल्दी हो जाएगा उतना हमको दे दो.
The old chawl houses were owned by the Public Works Department and residents were covered under the Tenancy Act. Those were selling for roughly 45 to 50 lakh rupees per room, but the new ones will fetch a higher price. While the current property rate in Worli is around 60,000 rupees to 1.25 lakhs per square feet for luxury apartments, these redeveloped flats will fetch around 30,000 to 40,000 rupees per square feet, or 2 crore rupees per flat. For the middle class families, the shift to the new flats is more than a change of address. It's a change of life. With Mustafa Sheikh, Bureau Report, India Today.
It was literally the keys to a new life. No superstardom has lasted this long. What really explains the Rajini phenomena, the longevity of the actor? Lata Srinivasan, would you like to weigh in?
So, and absolutely, the Rajini phenomenon, I think, is unparalleled. And it's something that is a celebration not just for Tamil cinema, but Indian cinema itself. From a humble nobody, he has become the superstar who commands a mass dance following, and they're all fanatic. They're not even fans. They call themselves Rajini fanatics. And every film of his is a celebration, not just in Tamil Nadu, but now it's become a global phenomenon, especially as you can see with Cooley.
Narayan Madhavan, you know, what, 5 decades, 50 years, and to be relevant in each decade, to speak to a viewer, a fan 50 years ago, exactly the way he speaks to a fan 50 years hence.
Yeah, I think it's important that Rajinikanth gave the word swag. You know, he lived the swag before the word swag became hip and fashionable for millennials or Gen Zers. And the core values that define this screen persona is style, dignity, and self-respect, with a sense of, masculinity that wasn't really toxic, but was macho in its own way. So that kind of appealed to both women and men. And there was always some humor and vulnerability in his characters, which, unlike the angry young man represented by Amitabh Bachchan or the romantic hero represented by Shah Rukh Khan, he stood in the middle, straddling the romantic and the angry with some panache, as if the word was invented for him. And interestingly, I would like to point out for the benefit of everybody that his own favorite movie, Baba, which he produced and acted, failed in the box office because what he played on screen was not himself. You know, Shah Rukh Khan once famously said, "I am not Shah Rukh Khan, but I work for Shah Rukh Khan," because there was this well-constructed screen image. And you have actors like Suresh Krishna, K.S. Ravi Kumar, and they actually molded this style phenomenon into a script and used razzmatazz and production techniques that made it all come out well. So that intrinsic style, which was discovered by K. Balachandran in the 70s, was beautifully developed by subsequent directors, as if Rajinikanth was not an actor or a superstar, but an industry or some sort of a religion in itself. That's what makes Rajinikanth special, I think. Most important of all,
right? Yes, sir. Make your
sense
point.
of dignity, which he carried.
K. Hariharan, would you want to weigh in on this? Because always, you know, the connect with the masses that has gone on now for 50 years, 5 decades, there's something very, very particular and peculiar about Rajinikanth's stardom.
Yeah. See, to understand Rajinikanth as a phenomenon, you have to go back to 1975, where there is a serious change in Tamil politics. And I see him as a resonance of that period, where the erstwhile heroes, which is Shivaji Ganesan and M.G. Ramachandran, they kind of disappear to give place to Kamal Haasan and Rajinikanth. So Rajinikanth is actually a product of an enormous counterculture beginning in Tamil Nadu. And what he introduces meaning the movement. I don't think he was conscious of it. He introduces the idea of speaking in colloquial Tamil, doing everything on screen, which MGR would never do. So he's actually a direct antithesis to M.G. Ramachandran. He would be, he would use foul language, he would be smoking, he'd be drinking, and he would be brash with women. All that was seen as a very important reaction to the counterculture that was coming up in 1975, where the DMK splits into the ADMK. And if we don't understand that background, we will never be able to understand his phenomenon. Because as we all know him, I have known him personally, he never claims to be a great actor, understanding actor, characters and all that. He just says, I am what I am. I am on the screen and what I look like. And I just be the perfect director's actor. He was the perfect foil. He doesn't ever say that I like to think about my roles and develop it in very conscious ways. And he would always say, that is Kamal Haasan's job, not my job. I am just the ordinary man. And this counterculture is what appealed to the new population coming up in 1975. And they are the first product of the post-independence generation. Those who are born out of the old Periyar syndrome of the DK party. And he introduces a new challenge to Tamil audiences, and the Tamil audiences loved it. Because he presented a counterculture which they were always waiting for. But the big betrayal happened between these two parties, when the DMK and the ADMK split. According to me, it is a total betrayal of the so-called Tamil people believe that the Dravidian phenomenon is a permanent phenomenon.
Well, that's really interesting with what you pointed out. But Lata Srinivasan, I want to, pull you in and taking off from what Mr. Hariharan left us with. Initial years, working with Kamal Haasan, the more a mass-based star, while Kamal Haasan a little more experimental. And then the journey to be with the one always, relatable, somebody you connect with, the cause of the poor, and then becoming this mass phenomena.
What Mr. Hariharan said, though it might have been born out of politics and was a counterculture, Rajinikanth, interestingly, was seen more in negative roles early on in his career. And he's perhaps the only villain that I can say who has become a superstar till now, because somebody who's had that kind of a career trajectory where he didn't consciously think of taking up roles in his early years. But you can see that career change happening slowly with time, where he becomes, similar to what an MGR does. He becomes a do-gooder. He, wants to be part of the masses, wants to make movies for the masses, wants to be seen as somebody who, is one of them. And you see a whole host of films like, Velekaran and Annamalai and Basha, where he is an auto driver, he's a servant in somebody's house. He becomes one of the ordinary people. And I think that was a very conscious change. And director Suresh Krishna, who did many of those films at that time, I think they wanted to ensure that his mass appeal went beyond how it had started in the early years. And of course, director Shankar came in and he became modern Rajinikanth. Rajinikanth for the young millennials. So every director who has come into Rajini's career has consciously, tried to craft it in such a way that it appeals to the generation of today and also stays rooted with the masses. I think that's very important as far as Rajinikanth is concerned.
Well, Mr. Madhavan, would you want to come in? The angry man of Tamil cinema, always reflection of the mood of society, the fighter for justice, has all embalmed him into the person that he is today in terms of what you see on screen?
Yes, but it's very important to understand that Rajinikanth managed to sublimate the anger with a sense of style and humor which you could not find in the typical Amitabh earlier movies. Maybe you found it later in a Shahenshah.
No, the punchlines, like the dialogues.
Even Rajinikanth. Yeah, dialogue. There was a full industry script writers working for him. I have translated a Tamil novel on the Tamil industry by writer Sujata, who wrote script for him. And there is a certain science fiction element in Robo. There is a modernity, as Lata pointed out. But one important point I want to make is that his name Rajinikanth was given by director Balachandar from Shivaji Rao because Rajni means dark. He's a dark-skinned man. At the same time, Kant means magnetic. So Balachandar could spot the fact that there was a magnetism to his darkness, which actually a lot of masses were able to identify with. Look, I'm only an ordinary man, but I want to have that kind of magnetism, and he represents my aspirational iconographic personality. And that is what helps us decode Rajinikanth, that he's post-Dravidian, as Dr. Hariharan pointed out, but in a way which is inclusive of that old assertion of identity, along with a sense of modernity. In that sense, he represents today's Tamil Nadu. High economic growth, globalized engineering and IT infrastructure, and yet rootedness in a certain way. That is Rajni for you.
K. Hariharan, from the phenomena on screen to the politician that never quite happened.
Yeah, I think that was, I think he learned it very well, that he is very important. He is not an orator. He's incapable of coming on a big platform and giving a single solo lecture. And he always said, I read lines from screenplays. So if you give me an oratory position on a platform, I'll fail. And I think he was very conscious of that if he ever stood for election, it would be a disaster. He would have been a disaster, So he is not a solo person. He is driven by the film industry. He is driven by the scripts that are written for him. He hardly interferes in the screenplays and how it should be written. So he gives full vent. Unlike other actors who like to kind of stage it, he just gives us somebody. What he told me once that I have just gimmicks, I have some few gimmicks in life, like a cards playing by a sharp cardsman. I just do that. And the rest is there by the audience. And I am 100% sure that, and convincingly can say that he is a phenomenon of the audience, not as done by himself. So, for example, when he split from Kamal Hassan earlier on, it was a planned move. It was not a split by any acrimony. It was very clear that Kamal Hassan told Rajinikanth that if you keep acting with me, you will always be the villain and you will always be short-lived. Why don't we split from here? And I must tell you, it's a small insight here for audiences, that they took a candid decision that every time a producer comes to Kamal Hassan, he will tell him that your next film should be made with Rajinikanth. And every time a producer came to Rajinikanth, he would tell him that your next film should be made by Kamal Hassan. So, between 75 and 85, these guys did 100 films each. I mean, this is pure management strategy, which I think others should learn from.
That's quite a politician.
Absolutely. He's what is he a politician? He is influencing Tamil politics from behind on the screen. He doesn't have to be a politician to do that.
I've run out of time, and it's a pity because I think a lot of people would have liked this conversation to go on for more, and I can safely say it's my most favorite, if I could say, a debate or a conversation I've had all week on News Today. And thank you, all three of you, for joining me.
Pleasure.
With that, I want to leave you with these images, viewers. As the nation gears up to celebrate the 79th Independence Day tomorrow, various monuments and buildings across the national capital have been adorned in the lights of the tricolour. We leave you with these visuals. Good night and Jai Hind.